So about 1 month ago, I walked into a jewelry show, and I found this watch dealer with a bunch of vintage Air Kings, vintage OPs. These are all 70s, 80s Rolexes, and I thought I've been watching some stuff online. Why not try to go ahead and flip one? So I ended up going home that night, doing a little bit of research because I didn't know if I actually wanted to go buy this watch that I saw that day. And I found that I had stumbled upon some of these like Oyster Perpetual dates. There were some, of those Air Kings that I was talking to you about, the 1500 reference number. And so I decided that I'm going to give it a shot, right? We're going to go ahead and try to see if we can go cop ourselves one of these Rolexes. So I went to the bank and I grabbed, I don't know, $2,000 because I knew they were about 1800. I wanted to have a little bit of wiggle room and I wanted to be able to make a deal. So I went to the jewelry show the next day and I walked up to that same booth where I saw the original Oyster Perpetual date, and I was going to go try to buy it. I was going to go try to find it again, and I wanted to make sure that it was good. I wanted to make sure the dial was original. I wanted to make sure it was not over polished or anything like that. And I walked up to the guy that I originally saw who had the watch, and he told me that it had sold. So I lost out on that one, and I was a little upset. So I figured, I already got the cash, and I'm already here, and it's the last day of this jewelry show, so I might as well, try to make something of it. And I wanted to, I don't want to just buy something that's just to buy something, but I went through this box that he gave me. There was like, I don't know, 30 watches or so in there, and I'm looking through them, trying to find something I could buy, and I see this Air King. I asked how much, and they said 1800, and I already knew this was pretty good, so I'm kind of sold at this point. I'm trying to get them a little bit lower, and they're not budging at all. Okay, 1800 was the price. I tried 16, 1700, 1750 even, and they wouldn't go. So I already knew it was a good deal. I went ahead, shook his hand, and gave the cash, and I walked home with an Air King, and I felt pretty good. I knew this was a nice watch, 34 millimeter Air King, and I wanted to try to flip it. That was the whole point. So eventually, a week went on. I learned about the Air King. I tried to figure it out. I tried to, see what it was all about. This is really my first time ever, holding a Rolex more for 3 minutes at a time, right? So, I wanted to see what it was all about. I wanted to feel it, see it, experience it, learn it, hear it, all those things that you do about a watch when you first get it. And I did. It was really cool. I was actually pretty excited to have this watch. I honestly wore it a little bit just to get to know it. And, I thought the 34 millimeter looked cool. The Air King's just cool. Honestly, it's a cool watch. Everything was original. The dial was good. It had the original lume. Everything looked good. I think it was okay, and it was keeping good time. I don't know, maybe losing 5 seconds a day. So I don't have a time grapher, so I can't tell exactly. But it kept pretty good time. So I went. A week went on, and then I went to 47th Street, and I had to try to make this another deal. That's where it gets hard, because 47th Street is difficult. I know that from my mistake, but I walked in there, and the first guy was like, I'll take 1500, and I'm like, all right. I was like, he was like, I'll give you 1500, and I'm like, dude, what? Like, I'm freaking out inside. I'm like, oh my god, this watch is worth 1500. But I pause, okay? I pause and I take a break, and I realize this guy's probably just lowballing me, because that's what they do. They're gonna try to do that if they can. I would, walking in there, and they see me. I'm shaking. I'm excited. I don't know. They know that I'm not a professional. They know that I'm there doing something new for the first time, and they're gonna try to take advantage. So, I was like, no, dude. I'm not doing 1500. No, not happening. He's like, well, that's the best we can do with the crystal that you have. It's got like little fracture marks in it. It's nothing too serious, but yeah, he was like 1500's best I can do. I was like, well, have a good day, man. See ya. And I walked over to another booth in the same building, and it's funny because I walked like 10 feet to the left, and they were probably watching me from there. They're like, okay. It's funny. I don't know why, but it's like all these are booths, so they're right next to each other, and they're all watching you, and it's kind of weird. But I told this guy, I was like, I'm looking to sell this for 26, and he was like, okay, probably gonna be under 2. And I was like, even if he's under 2, I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm already good. I'm already winning. I bought it for 18 cash, so there's no tax, none of that. I'm already winning if he's thinking under 2. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna do under 2 because I know this watch is really good. I told him that I'm looking for something a little closer to 24, and that was my first mistake. Jumping $200 from my asking price shows that I'm ready to move down fast as heck. I would have not done that. I would have maybe said, 26, maybe 25. Let's go 25. Come on, 25 right now. I know you want it. I would have tried something like that. Now, didn't feel very confident, so I was like, all right, 24, you take it. And he was like, no, I can't do that. He was like, can you do 2? And when he said that, I was like, okay, so he just went from under 2 to 2. So I was like, damn it. I want more. I really do want more. He's not moving up. He's not moving up at all. And that's when I realized that I need to get a little bit better at negotiating, I guess, watches. I feel like I can negotiate other stuff, but when I'm not nervous, I got to be not nervous. I was nervous and excited to try to make a deal. And so I said 23, and he said no. And I was like, all right, 21.50 right now. Put the hand out there. Let's go right now. Right now. And he said, all right, deal. And he shook my hand at 21.50, which is kind of a crazy flip if you ask me. That's 20% on my money. I paid $1,800 for it, and I almost made $400. I made $350 cash. Boom, done. And I thought that was really, really exciting. I just did not know how difficult it would be when I tried it on my flip number 2. Flip number 2 didn't go so well, as you know from my last video. I bought this Rolex Datejust 36mm 1601 for a lot. And what is a lot, you may ask? Well, $3,900. Yeah, I overpaid. So this is gonna be my personal piece now. That's what they say. You gotta wear it on your sleeve, literally. So